Officials in Lebanon say at least 12 people were killed, including 2 children, when pages used by Hezbollah across the country exploded. Iran's ambassador to Lebanon is among the nearly 2,800 injured by these simultaneous blasts. Hezbollah militants began using the devices in the hopes of avoiding Israeli surveillance on their mobile phones. The militant group blames Israel for the explosions and says the attack will not go unpunished. There's been no immediate comment from the Israeli military.
Lebanon is in shock the day after what's been described as an unprecedented attack, as hundreds of pagers used by the militia group Hezbollah exploded over about an hour, causing several deaths and thousands of injuries. In the aftermath, many schools and shops are closed, and residents are still reeling.
What happened yesterday shocked us. It was unimaginable. No one could have thought that pages could explode like that. The scene was shocking, how people were torn apart right in front of you. They were exploding right in front of you.
One blast was caught on camera. In a statement read on Lebanese television, Hezbollah, which is considered a terrorist group by the EU and others, placed the blame squarely on Israel and vowed to punish the perpetrators of the attack. Some Lebanese agreed with their message.
We will retaliate. We have to teach them a lesson they can't forget, because those people, if they are not harmed, they will not be deterred.
Many Hezbollah members were using the pagers because the group's leadership had thought the older technology could evade tracking by Israel. Security experts believe Israel's spy agency Mossad was able to insert a small amount of explosives into devices somewhere along the supply chain before they reached Hezbollah. Hospitals in Beirut have been overwhelmed with the sudden rush of patients. Staff say they treated grisly wounds.
I was the emergency doctor last night at the Hotel Dieu hospital. Unfortunately, as everyone knows, we received injuries due to devices exploding in people's hands. The injuries were mainly to the eyes and hands, which caused finger amputations, shrapnel in the eyes. Some people lost their sight.
Tensions are running high in Lebanon. The question now is if and when Hezbollah and its backers Iran will retaliate for the attack.
DW Bureau Chief Mohamad Chreyteh is in the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Mohamad, that was a day like no other on Tuesday. We just heard people in Lebanon seeming eager to strike back. Does that snapshot we heard reflect the wider mood in Lebanon?
Well, I would say it's a very unusual calm day for a weekday here in Beirut. Main streets are almost empty. Schools and public institutions are not working today. Lebanon is totally in shock after the wave of Hezbollah pagers explosion yesterday left at least 12 deaths, including 4 civilians, 2 of whom are children, and more than 2,800 injured, around 300 of whom are still in intensive care units in critical conditions, according to the Lebanese Ministry of Public Health. The massive scale of this event brought rare feelings of solidarity here in Lebanon, in a country that is normally divided on so many layers.
Mohamad, from a communications and a morale point of view, but also just in terms of manpower, how badly has the attack affected Hezbollah's ability to operate?
Well, this operation obviously aims technically to cut the means of communication between Hezbollah's operatives and to cause massive injuries in the group personnel, but also to cause moral damage to the party members and supporters, mainly to break the trust and that the militant group is capable of fighting. I think that Hezbollah will need some time to digest this event and find alternatives to restore its communications and its command and control system damaged by this attack, but also to restore the morals of its operatives and supporters who were completely shocked by the scale of this attack yesterday. It is believed that hundreds, if not thousands, of Hezbollah's militants will be out of service for some time due to injuries.
We've heard Hezbollah is blaming Israel and that they've already carried out the first cross-border attacks. What more can you tell us?
You know, all this comes in the context of the continuing and increasing conflict between Hezbollah and Israel since October last year. Hezbollah have been repeatedly saying it does not want all-out war with Israel, but it expressed readiness for it. Throughout this conflict, we've seen moments of very high tension on this front, and other times it was calmer. You know, following this attack, Hezbollah issued a statement this morning vowing to retaliate on this attack separately, but also said in his statements that he will continue to strike northern Israel, you know, the daily routine of the strikes in what he calls the supporting front for Gaza. And this happened a while ago. A second announcement for a second operation have been already made public by Hezbollah a while ago.
DW Bureau Chief in Beirut, Mohamad Chreyteh, thanks so much. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Eugenio Lilli. He's a lecturer on global affairs and emerging technologies at the UCD Clinton Institute for American Studies in Dublin. Great to have you with us. This sounds like something written for a Mission Impossible movie. Can you tell us how this could have been executed technically, or at least what explanation seems most plausible to you?
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. The most plausible explanation so far, and the most popular, seems to be that of supply chain operation. That is, the pagers were tampered with during the manufacture or in transit to Hezbollah. To make damage, the pagers might have been packed with small amounts of explosive and then triggered by remote signal. Although plausible, it's important to remember that so far there is no definitive answer to how this coordinated attack took place.
Have there been other examples, as we search for a concrete answer and wait for that, have there been other examples before this of similar sophisticated attacks and simultaneous attacks like this in the past?
I think it's fair to say that this was unprecedented, especially in terms of the context in which it took place and in the fact that it resulted in physical injuries and, as we saw, in some deaths. However, that said, operations relying on tampered technology are not new and they have occurred in the past. A famous one was revealed in 2021. Reportedly, law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, had secretly set up a company which sold allegedly fully encrypted phones to criminals worldwide, only to then trace such phones and arrest the owners.
Incredible. Why do you think pagers were chosen as targets and not smartphones or computers? What was their goal in using pagers and not smartphones?
Well, the idea, probably mistaken with hindsight, was that the more basic technology on which pagers rely, it's just harder to trace and monitor compared to that used in mobile phones or smartphones. And this has been a long-standing concern for Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iranian operatives, given Israeli proved ability to target their enemies.
Eugenio, before we go, what consequences do you think this attack might have on the conflict in the region?
I think that one of the biggest consequences of this attack will be internal to Hezbollah. More precisely, their leadership will have to conduct a thorough investigation and question the trustworthiness of their entire security apparatus.
Eugenio Lilli from the UCD Clinton Institute for American Studies in Dublin. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.